Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to look at how to install MySQL. If you haven't watched Introduction to SQL, please check my tutorial on that before you go on with this. So what is this MySQL? So MySQL is a database management system. It is free, is popular and widely used. So this MySQL we are installing today is a tool that helps us to store, organize and manage data in a structured way. And you might be wondering, after talking about SQL, why MySQL? So SQL, as we have seen, stands for Structured Query Language, which is the language we use to interact with our data. So this same SQL are the set of instructions for this MySQL we are installing today. So when we want to add data, update information or find specific records, we write SQL queries. We use those SQL command, and this MySQL we are downloading today processes these queries or commands and performs the actions. So MySQL is the database engine and SQL is the language we use to communicate with it. MySQL is the database engine and SQL is the language we use to communicate with it. So they are actually work together efficiently and securely. So let's look at how to install this MySQL, which is a database engine. So you just go to your browser with your internet connection because it is free. You go to MySQL, then you click on MySQL, you go down and then you first download MySQL Community Server. Click on Community Server, make sure you choose your operating system, select the version, then I'm going to download this 9.10 MSI installer. I'm going to click on download. It's going to it's going to show login or sign up, but I'm just going to no thanks, just start my download. So without login or sign up, I can also download. Then make sure you know where you are downloading the installation file. I'm going to save, and then it's going to right away start downloading my MySQL community server, and I'm just going to wait for it to finish downloading before we go further on how to install it. MySQL community server has finished downloading. I'm going to open the folder and I'm going to install it into my system now. So we're installing MySQL server into the system. I'll click on next. I'm going to accept the agreement. Next, I'm clicking on complete, then install. I'm going to accept yes while the installation process is going on. So I'm going to click finish, click yes. So this is going to pop up for the installation to continue. I'm going to click on next, data directory, where the files are going to be installed. Next, my port is 3306. In case you are using this port already for another application, you could change it or change the port in the other application. I'm going to click on next. It's going to ask me for a password. Make sure you remember this password that you are using now. Very, very important. Then I could add a user in case I'm not the only one using the application. I could add another user, give that user a name and a password also. Going to click next. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on next. Then the sample database, because as we are using SQL, we will need this sample database to practice the SQL queries and command. So I'm going to click on create circular database and create wall database. Going to click on next. Then for this apply configuration, I'm going to click on execute. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on finish. So we have successfully installed our server. So let's check to confirm that our server is installed. I'm going to use it during the command line. I'm going to open the MySQL command line. It will show me enter password. I'm going to enter that same password, and it has shown that our server is actually installed. So let me try /h. So you could see these are the command that you could use, possibly use in case you want to use. So this is it from here. This is about the installation because our class today is strictly for installation. So we have installed our community server. Now there's a graphical user interface that is friendly that we are going to install also. It's called MySQL Workbench. So on that same website, you could just go back. Just go back, and then still under the same downloads that you saw the MySQL server, you come to MySQL Workbench. You click on MySQL Workbench, then choose your operating system, and then I'm going to download the MSI installer. So I'm going to click on download. Then without logging or sign up, I could still download it. I'll just go to no thanks, start my download. Then I'm going to click on save. Always remember where you are downloading to. So my workbench is actually downloading now. So it's done. I'll just open where I installed it. You could see my workbench. I'm going to click on my workbench. So this is the setup. I'll click on next. Next. I want complete. Then install. Click on yes. Going to click on finish. So this is my workbench. So don't forget, we did the MySQL community server, and now this is the workbench, and this is my default root. So I'm going to click on this. So like we said, MySQL Workbench is the official graphical user interface tool for MySQL. It allows you to design, create, and browse your database schemas, work with database objects, and insert data, as well as design and run SQL queries to work with stored data. And that is what we are using this MySQL Workbench for. We are going to use our SQL queries or command on it. So once you get to this place, just double click on this. Then it's going to ask you for your password. Don't forget the password you used. So it's going to ask you for your password. So click on OK. Continue anyway. And I'm officially in my MySQL Workbench. You could see the secular database and the world database. These are the database that came with it that we are going to use to run our SQL command and queries, practicals and hands-on. So this administration and this is schemas. So download the MySQL community server, download the MySQL Workbench. So we need the MySQL community server first, and you have to know that this server is where your data is being stored. That's why we downloaded the MySQL community server. That is where your data is stored. It processes and executes the SQL commands. It also manages your data storage and handles connection to your database. That was why we have to download MySQL community server. Then for this MySQL Workbench, it is a graphical tool we use to interact with the MySQL server. So as you can see, it provides us with user-friendly interface to design our database basis, write and run SQL queries or command. It visualizes our data and perform other database management tasks. So the SQL server does the heavy lifting of managing data, while this our workbench is like a control panel that helps you interact with it visually. So if you have any other question, please reach out to me in the comment section. So for now, download the MySQL community server and MySQL Workbench. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And we are just beginning in this SQL journey. So it is important you watch the introduction to SQL and then also install your MySQL Workbench as we continue our journey of SQL. Thank you very much.